Hey everybody, Sam here.
And Angela, and welcome to our channel.
Welcome back to our 1988 Palm Harbor single-wide mobile home. It's been a minute.
We've been getting settled in.
We have. Speaking of settled, we've also been settling in with our power bill.
Yes, as many of you know, mobile homes get a bad rap for not being very energy efficient and your power bill costing a lot. I know ours has. I mean, we're talking a lot.
Feels like it, that's for sure.
So Sam has bought something to help us figure out what's going on with the power here and if there's anything we can do about it.
Imagine that. I have spent money.
For a new gadget too.
What else are you going to do? So the gadget that I have picked out, it is what is known as a smart home meter or smart hub. Basically, it's your own personal power meter you put in your house to give you super granular details and a lot of nerdy technology stuff to make you dig into your energy usage.
So come along as Sam gets this installed and we'll take a look at it.
As we get started installing this device, I want to let you know we bought this ourselves with our own money. However, as I've been working with this, I reached out to the company and said, you know what? I love your product. We have a YouTube channel. Can you give us a coupon or a deal that we can give to our viewers if they're interested? They said, sure. So there is a specific link down below. If you want to get one and you want a discount, it's for you. Just letting you guys know, we bought this for ourselves with our own money. Like it enough that we kind of hounded out the company and said, hey, give us a coupon. There you go. Before we begin, I want to be very clear that you should never do this unless you're 100% confident and comfortable working with electricity, know your electrical system, and know how to be safe. If you have any questions at all, hire an electrician. It shouldn't be too much to have this system installed. Don't risk it. Pay someone else to do it. I'm going to go ahead and begin installing the Emporia unit inside our home's sub panel. I say sub panel because our home, being a mobile home, this is actually the sub panel. Our main load center or main panel is outside the home, back there where our power meter is installed, and that's where I did our main disconnect from. The perks of that is absolutely everything in here is dead. There is no electricity flowing even into the home. That's not the case with every home, so don't take it for granted. Again, understand your own electrical design. But for me, it works out pretty good. I know that I don't have to be leery of these main lugs because they are dead. So installation is pretty straightforward. You start by installing the actual control box itself along with the Wi-Fi antenna. The antenna, you want to do one of your knockouts on your box and fish it up into your wall cavity. Otherwise, you're not going to have good connectivity from inside a metal box. So that's required for your home network. And then after that, you attach your transformers to your main lugs and all the other little transformer clamps to all the circuits you want to monitor, and then wire the control box up as well. You have the option of piggybacking off current circuits or using empty breakers for the control box's power supply. I chose to go to the store and buy 2 new breakers just for the dedicated use for this to monitor the electrical flow. You may or may not have that option depending on how many spaces are free in your panel. Just know that that's what I'm going to do, and it may not exactly be what you end up doing. Through this whole install, I'm going to be referencing the Emporia app. It is 100% hold your hand, walk you through step by step. It is great. So I highly recommend you download it. Go ahead and create your account, set it up, and then walk through it together if you're installing this yourself. If you're using an electrician to install it, I would also recommend handing them the app as well. Let them see how the manufacturers want it to be installed, and then they can go from there. Alright, I think that covers everything from a theory standpoint. Let's go and put that theory into practice and go ahead and install everything into our box. double pole, double pole, double, single, single, single. Okay, that's that side. And this is going to be a tight squeeze. All of the technical installation is done. I have all of the transformer clamps on every single circuit, as well as my main leads coming into the panel. If you'll notice on the double pole breakers, all of my 240 volt appliances, I only installed one transformer. Let's follow the instructions, of course, and it told me that in the app, I'm able to configure a multiplier to tell it, okay, this clamp is actually on a 240 volt circuit, so do some magic, multiply it. That's really cool. That's also really important because this panel is getting crowded. My next task is the one that could either be the most fun or the least fun of the project, depending on you and how your tendencies are. For me, I'm looking forward to it. It's called cable management. How can I take this jumbled mess, horrible rat's nest of spaghetti, and make it look as pretty as possible? Let's find out. Well, I finished all of my cable management and finished the technical installation of the device. I added a couple of things that weren't included in the kit, and if I was the kit master or give improvements for the company on what to include in the kit, I would say about 50 zip ties of a couple of different sizes, but then most importantly, some double-sided tape for the control box to be stuck in the load center box or the breaker box. For us, I used some command strips that are Velcro, so I could disconnect this and reattach it if I need to, but that mounting option was something that was really missing in the kit as far as what I know so far. You can also tell I used a bunch of zip ties because I like to do that, but it's also important that this stays organized, neat, and as tidy as possible. Even though you don't get in your breaker box that much, you want it to be organized for whenever anyone does. Something else I noticed as I finagled the wires around, these connectors into the control box are not rock solid. They were easily pulled out if I move the wires too much. So that's another reason to zip tie everything together to mount the control box fixed within your panel, and then also zip tie the white wires to fixed wires in the box as well. I pretty much made everything locked down because the last thing I want to do is have all this installed, consider it done, and then find that one of the wires unplugged or is not a tight connection and have to turn off the power of the house and check it all over again. I am absolutely not an electrician or an electrologist, but I had Angela and Elijah both come up and ask me what's this, what's that during the install. So I'll explain to you like I explained to them, which is within the capacity of my understanding. These white clamps that are clamped on the wires have a magnet. It's a two-piece magnet, but when you clamp it over, you're creating a magnet connection that loops around the wire. When electricity passes through a wire and you have a magnet wrapped around it, it generates an electrical field. That electrical field, voltage, probably is voltage sense, goes from this box through the wire and into the control box. From there, its magical properties realizes that this value equals this amount of amperage usage, and it goes from there. To calculate wattage, calculate voltage, or calculate amperage, you need to know the other two variables. So volts times amps equals wattage, or wattage divided by volts equals amps, or wattage divided by amps equals volts. Yes, I said that right. So this gives us our amperage, but we still need that part 2 to have the full triangle picture of electricity. That's what the two breakers are that I put down here. They read the voltage of the panel, then they combine it with the amperage of the clamp to give us usage in wattage, to then tell us you're consuming this much. This is what you're pulling. This is what that device is using. So that's Sam's explanation on how these clamps work and how the magic of the white wires and boxes take shape. For the next step of installation and setup, I'm going to be doing the work within my phone. It wants me to tell the program what each of these leads is connected to give it logical nomenclature. Instead of seeing circuit 1 is using XYZ, I want to be able to see that, oh, the refrigerator is using XYZ. I took the time as I plugged everything up to make notes on my notepad in the phone, telling me what circuit is what. So I'm going to go ahead and translate that data from my notepad into the Emporia app. Alright, to make this easier and to include Angela, because come on.
I was here.
You're on the other side of the camera, you might as well be on this side of it now. So I've got the picture of the notes that I took. She's got it here and she's going to tell me what circuit is what. Let me go ahead and actually turn on screen recording on my phone too. Add a little coolness to the factor. And let's go ahead and punch these in. Alright, so circuit number 1, what name did I write down?
Kitchen, master bedroom, master bath.
Oh gosh.
The biggest one.
Kit, we'll see, MB.
MB?
MB, master bedroom / B, bath.
Okay.
Alright, and that is a circuit multiplier of 1 means it's 120 volt. They're seeing the screen on my phone, that's what it means.
Okay.
Circuit type. Oh, look at that.
It tells you.
Well, geez, why do I want to label it if it's got a circuit type? Whatever. Alright, enter another. Circuit number 2, what name is it?
Backdoor laundry.
I'm going to name that laundry.
Because it is at the back door.
Laundry room, that's a 110 volt circuit as well. And we'll say that's lights. Okay, circuit 3.
Boys' bedroom and bath.
Circuit type. Is there a room? Yeah, room / multi-use. Cool. Alright, circuit 4.
Living room.
Five.
Dryer. So that one's a 2.0?
Yep, circuit multiplier should be 2. That's my assumption.
Because it's 240?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Let's see. Nope, not clothes washer, clothes dryer. Cool. Alright, circuit 6.
Above cabinet kitchen light.
Yeah, that's that new outlet we added during the kitchen reno. Autocorrect doesn't work in the app. Alright, that one is definitely light circuit. Alright, circuit 7.
Dishwasher.
Is it 1 or 2 words?
You have it as 1 on here.
So 1 word is the
I think
appliance,
so.
2 is the person.
Yes.
Yep. Alright, circuit 8.
It goes to 11.
Right. It goes to 11.
It goes to what?
It's from a movie. But it goes to 11. All right, what's 11?
Mini split.
That's the one I'm going to be very interested to see the usage of. All right, multiplier of 2 and circuit type heat pump. Mini split 11. Okay.
12 stove.
Circuit 12. Or I guess some would call it a range. We say stove. What should be in here is range.
No.
Oven? No. How is it not in here? Oh, cooktop, range, oven, stove. Okay.
Cooktop.
Cooktop. Alright, 12. Oh, circuit multiplier on that to 2. Alright.
13 water heater.
13. Water heater. That's a multiplier of
2.0.
2. And water heater. Okay.
14 washer.
Clothes washer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 15.
Microwave.
Okay. 16.
Fridge.
Okay. Alright, it says before replacing panel cover, take photos or install in case you need contact support. I think we have a video to document that part. So, next. And now it says put the cover on and flip the breaker.
Okay, so put that on and I'll do the running.
I thought you were going to say let's go.
Let's go.
Well, let's go.
It's been a while since I've said that.
It is. You've been slacking on video time. Waiting to hear any kind of problems. Why did I put my hand on it? There should be no vibration with this. Okay, so Angela is coming back. Main breaker's on. I'm going to go ahead and flip on a couple of the house circuits and we'll see that I didn't mess up anything. Everything's turning on. The VTech baby monitor is talking to us. Alright. Turn the screen recording back on, make it interesting. Alright, cover and breakers on. Tap next. Now wants to use Bluetooth. Sure.
Stand within 5 feet, honey.
We're good.
Don't stick your hand in the electrical panel.
Cool. So I assume 9, that's us. So we'll tap on that.
Connecting to your device.
Scanning networks. Okay. Connecting to the cloud.
Do, 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 do.
Sweet. Now it's asking us if we have a solar or a generator. Yes, but Sam hasn't got it hooked up, so we'll say no solar for now. That's really cool, though. I have to check that one out. Alright, so no solar. Now it's checking our Vue installation. How's the Vue from in there in the box?
I was going to say, how well did you do?
That's right. Checking your cable management. Sweet. Name of Vue? What do we want to name it? Bob? What about Jack? It's Jack in the box.
Juice.
Juice?
Juice box.
No, that's the green shed. What do we name this thing? What do we name the little white box in there? What do you want to name it?
Light volt or volt?
Volt.
Voltage.
Volt. Voltron.
Voltage.
Voltron.
Voltron, defender of the universe. A mighty robot.
Alright, Eastern time zone. Save. Cool. Now it's updating firmware.
Firmware.
Yep. Okay, we are finally done.
Done.
So we'll tap on the button that says, okay, show me my energy. How much energy do I have at this point, Angela?
Probably not much.
Whoops.
Got a little happy click in
There you
there.
go. All right, Voltron is showing us that we're using, looks like 2.3 kilowatts or 2.4 kilowatts, so 2,400 watts for the whole house. Mini split is the major consumption. The laundry room is a close second. What's up with that? That is really, really cool. Okay, I'm going to take some time now to stop this part of the video because I want to learn the app, learn the usage, and kind of get some more information over time. So you guys are going to take a short second break, and then you'll see us in the future where we've got more info to share.
I need to do some laundry, so that'll add to it.
We'll give you time to do laundry. It's probably going to be about 2 or 3 days.
That's okay.
So it's been a few days since we installed the Emporia unit into our home's panel, and I will now go over some usage stats, take a look at the dashboard, and compare it with what our local utility company reports to us that we've also been using. This is one of the number one steps of this whole project, is to know how much we are actually using and compare that with the utility company, to make sure there's no discrepancies, but then also to get the granular results to know exactly what circuit, what device, how much it's using, and can we make changes from there. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Emporia app here and let it refresh, and we can see our current usage here. Currently we're using 850 watts in the house. The number one user of that is the mini split right now, but only 511 watts. Alright, let's go ahead and go to graphs and select on day down here. It's showing me the consumption for today so far is 16.8 kilowatt hours. Let's scroll back to, I think, October 26th. That'll be a good comparison. So on that day, according to Emporia, we used 23.9 kilowatt hours of electricity. Let's now jump over to our utility app and see what they report for the same exact day. So as we look up here at the top, we can see for the 26th, they reported 24 kilowatt hours exactly. So switching back over to Emporia, 23.9, 24. Okay, that is correct. There is no disparity, there is no differences between Emporia's readings and the utility companies. Now the whole reason for looking into that is because along my research for energy efficiencies and ways to improve your home setup, I ran across something called load balancing within panels or breaker boxes. And that's where you balance the load, how much you draw on your amperage between both of your lines on your power input. For a split phase power, that means 120 volt circuit 1, 120 volt circuit 2. The thing that I read was that some utility companies sense line 1 and line 2 and then pick the higher of the two and charge you that amount. What that means is they could see 40 amps on one circuit, 20 amps on the other, and charge you for 40. Whereas if you balanced it and used 30-30, you could be charged for 30. I wasn't sure if this was true or not because it would seem like the power companies would be missing out on opportunities to take our money by not billing for that 20 amps that we would have used on line 2, but I wasn't sure. After this test, seeing the system put in place, our power meter is accurate. Our power company is getting every bit of money they can out of us. So that's good, I guess. Alright, diving deeper into this day, let's go ahead and look at the hour by hour consumption. It's a little bit different on the app here, just kind of scrolling around. It moves the day around, so you have to kind of slide this bottom, and you're really only able to see, bar graphs. It doesn't give you numbers on each area. We can see that as far as peak times, our peak for that day was around, 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So in the evenings, when we are all home, we are all inside, it is dark at that point roughly, and we are doing things inside the house. So that would be our prime time. As far as down times, kind of hit and miss on that one. All the way through, we had a spike at 6 a.m. the next day. That, I believe, is because we woke up early that day and that was our water heater kicking in. But if I think that's what it was, I can actually drill down and see that. So let's go back home. Let's click on the water heater. And now let's go to, alright, it's on an hour. So let's scroll back and let's see. One of those at 6 a.m. Yeah, so 6 a.m. is around 1500 kilowatts. That would coincide with shower time. At the same time, looking at the water heater circuit, if we scroll down to this day right here, the one at the far right, that was 10 p.m. on the 25th. That was the evening that both the boys took a shower and I did. It was haircut night, so we all took showers afterwards. So that's why there's that spike in the water heater usage. Otherwise, the water heater seems to just pulse every once in a while. Looks like it's using about 365 watts there, and another little pulse around 370 watts, 480, 500. So we can kind of see that our water heater kicks on and off about every, we'll say maybe 3 hours or so, just to top off the tank and make sure it's warm. It's definitely a really cool thing about this app is to be able to dive deep into each appliance, each circuit, look at the hours usage, look at the minutes usage. So you can go minute by minute, you could even do by second if you wanted to. That is really cool. The cool thing about this app is no doubt the fact that you have tons of data at your fingertips. I'm able to see current usage, yes, obviously awesome, but historical stuff as well. And that's really where the information is going to be most powerful at. Taking a snapshot of your home's electrical use is one thing, but seeing the long data strung out will allow you to identify things that are normal or abnormal in usage. So along the same lines from this dashboard where we see all the circuits, currently it's set to seconds down here at the bottom. If we go to day, we can see our #1 consumers of electricity. Right here, sorted by day, we've used 16.8 kilowatt hours today. Of that, 6,200 watts has been to heat our water, 2,700 watts for a mini split, 2,300 for laundry room and various other things. So in our home, our biggest energy hogs is our water heater and our mini split. One other really cool thing about this app is if I go over to settings and change my units of measurement to currency, this is accurate. When you set this up in your app, it asks for your local utility or your location, pulls it up and pulls your rate per kilowatt hour from a database and loads it in. If it works for the US, it may work in other areas, I'm not sure. But for us, that is awesome. So we're now able to see today, our total usage in electricity is $1.51. So if we go back a day, we used $2.41. Back another day, $2.14, another $2.83, and so on and so on. That is so cool. That not only shows you real life numbers, but it also shows you how cheap electricity can be. As we look at something and we look at the day's usage and we think, oh my gosh, we're consuming 16,000 watts. That's outrageous. But then we look at how much that's actually costing us, $1.51. Okay, we don't have to freak out as bad. Now, no doubt, $1.51 adds up over time. Yes, absolutely. But this is a little more, I guess, don't freak out screen, as opposed to the other where you're looking at your wattage and you're thinking, wow, that water heater is killing us. As I flip back over to our utility company's app, this is not something that every utility offers. When we were in North Carolina, we had nothing as nice as this. We had nothing as granular or as useful as this. I'm very, very happy to see we have this here in Tennessee. As I also scroll back to look at our usage, you can see around September 28th, I mean, we're in the green, so it looks like our utility company thinks that probably anything below 30 kilowatt hours per day is okay. 30 to 40 is moderate, and 40 and above looks like insanity. Thankfully, most of our days were in the green. We had some periods of mild insanity here, and then of course, on that cold snap, 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, we were just ludicrous. So, just wanted to give you guys a little in-depth dive on the app, the usage, and really kind of explain, well, that's cool. Why do I really care about this? Sam, why did you buy this? What's the giggles you're getting out of this? It's allowing me to deep dive into our home's energy usage, see what is being used, what has been used, and eventually be able to have long data streams to know if something goes awry. If that water heater starts spiking a lot, it'll tell me there's something up with it. Same thing with the mini split or other devices as well. So this is just one extra tool to have more knowledge, more data, and be able to make better informed decisions. And that, in the end, is pretty cool. So here we are, a couple of days later after it's been installed. What are your thoughts? They've heard me talk a lot about the app and how much I love it. What are your thoughts?
I think it's really neat to see real time what's going on. When we lived in North Carolina, we were able to see a couple of days later how much energy usage we were using, but that's not really that helpful because you don't remember were you doing laundry that day or what. So this has been a lot nicer to see that type thing.
Definitely. And I can tell you that Angela has spent hours upon hours looking at her phone, geeking out over the numbers, right?
I don't know that I've even turned it on, but this one has.
I really have. I love the fact that it can be on my phone or my tablet or even on the computer. It comes with a website you log into, and I will just randomly be like, oh, doing laundry. There goes 5,500 watts per minute. Hour, I guess, maybe hour. Hopefully it's an hour. Anyway, yeah, it's really cool to just check our energy usage wherever we want to.
So you have all this data. What are you going to do with it?
Oh, this is where Sam has to justify the purchase. That's okay. I can talk forever. What immediately I'm going to do is look and see if we have any energy hogs. We already have our entire home's lighting switched over to LED. If we didn't, that would be like step number one. In addition to that, we also have light switch police, mostly me, that says, hey, you left this light on, turn it off. That's very helpful. Outside of that, I think it's going to take a lot more time to see what uses a lot of electricity throughout weather cycles. And as I mentioned earlier, our heat pump, when it's heating, does use some juice. So we might need to look at an off-grid or non-electrical heat source.
You mean like a propane fireplace to go under our TV?
Someone might have already picked out our off-grid heat source, I guess.
On the cold mornings, whenever we get into the living room, the mini split is not in the living room, so it's chilly. And I'm really missing my little propane fireplace. But we're talking about getting a nice one with an actual mantle and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, something real nice for our old single wide. No,
this doesn't look like an old single wide anymore.
It doesn't.
Not on the inside.
I'm also a big fan of that idea because when I come in from the workshop in the cold weather and I'm usually frozen at that point, yeah, lighting a fire would be easy. Now, obviously a wood stove would be the true off-grid type thing, but we only have maybe about 2 acres worth of woods completely. We don't want to cut them down. We don't want to use them up for firewood. And there's a lot of labor involved with wood stoves and a lot of smells. So that's not something that we personally are really excited to do, is bring a lot of wood smoke into the house.
No.
So the next best thing would be gas. We don't have natural gas out here. That would be probably the number one thing. But second close would be propane.
And it's something that we're familiar with. The past couple of places we've lived, we've had a propane fireplace heater type thing.
So I guess you can look forward to that. We are going to do that sometime to help our energy usage. The other thing is to actually put our solar panels we already own and connect them to our house somehow. They are still sitting over at my workshop. They are powering that whole system off grid, but that's overkill for my workshop needs. We'd have 20 in total, which is 5,000 watts of solar panels we have to set up. I just need to figure out the best way to tie it into our home's grid. I don't want to grid tie, I don't want to backfeed to the utility, but take advantage of them. I've been chatting with a couple of friends who do off-grid solar tech as well. They give me some directions. So that, along with our propane heater, are probably the big first step, second step we're going to do.
Sounds good.
But not today, not in this video. This one has just been about gathering data, installing some technical stuff, and geeking out at all hours of the day.
I'm sure you'll find something else to do that with later too.
Yeah.
Well guys, thanks for coming along as we hooked this thing up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time on the homestead.
See you guys.
Bye.